All right, this video is going to show you how to change the mileage on Fleet. So what you're going to want to do is go to fleet.lmdmax.com. It'll then ask you to log in. You'll get to the dashboard. You'll go over to vehicles, look for the vehicle that you are looking to change. In this case, we'll look at van 2. Maybe it needs to be fixed. You'll then look at this list down here, go to mileage log. As you can see, all these numbers are blue. That shows that it believes the mileage is correct. What would classify the mileage as not blue, or what would make it change colors, is if a mileage value one day is put in that is more than 500 miles of the previous entry. So let's look at van 3. Van 3 also looks good. Van 4. Okay, so as you can see, all these are red, which means at some point the mileage was put in more than 500 miles since the last entry. So what we'll do is we'll scroll and scroll and scroll until we get to blue. And as you can see here, it was 23,387 and then jumped to 23,927. So what you can do is go to this mileage here and say, all right, it jumped up about 600 miles. So because this was so long ago, this was almost a year ago from the filming of this video, it's not going to be needing to be super precise, but let's make it within 500 miles of the previous entry. So we'll just add 400 miles to the last entry. We'll call it 23,787. Let me get rid of this first a little bit and click OK. The system will recalibrate and boom, all these entries are blue. Now, occasionally there may be some values that have a 10 added to the front. That's something common we do where if the mileage is incorrect, in order to complete the checkout for that day, a 10 is added to the front of the values. So that way the vehicle can still be completed for that day. If you're ever unsure what the mileage actually is, recently we started a new picture where we ask for the picture of the fuel. What you can do is scroll, and in a lot of the pictures, the odometer is actually there on the screen. So in this picture, it is not because the front left door is open. But in this picture, you can see that the odometer was 32,366 miles on April 3rd. So what you can do is you can go back up to the mileage log and you can say April 3rd, 32,366. That's correct. And then you know how many miles are on the van. Now we can do the same thing. Look at van 5. Van 5 has the same issue. We'll scroll down until we find the value that's wrong. Looks like it was in early May of last year. It jumped up to 22,000 miles and then back down to 20,000 miles. So it looks like there was a number that was mistyped. So we'll come in here and we'll say the last entry was 20,697. The next one was 20,767. So we'll call it 20,747. Why not? Just a number in the middle. Let it recalculate. It looks like there was another entry that was messed up. So we'll come in here, it looks like 23,338 instead of 22,338. Click OK. That fixes that. Scroll all the way up just to make sure. And boom, van 5 is good. Let's do one more. Here's van 7. Van 7 looks like it had an issue in May as well. Looks like there was an extra 0 added to the end. Now sometimes the values are different than what it looks like at the beginning. But as long as the number you put in is more than this previous value and less than the next value, then you'll be good. As you can see in this case, I put in a number that was less than the previous value, so it's not going to work. If I try doing something greater than the next value, it's going to say must be less than the next value. So you can put something in between. In this case, I'll put 22,650. Now you might need to fiddle around with it, change some values up here, some values down here. As long as the values you put in are close enough to the pictures of the actual fuel as kind of a reference point. If you're not able to figure it out, give me, Nathan, or Brad a call and we'll help you figure it out. But once you update it, you can see everything's blue. Looks like there was another mistake. Come in here and it looks like it needs to be between 25,125 and 25,186. We'll call it 21 or 25,175 rather. That fixes that. We keep scrolling. It looks like all of these are good. So that is how you change the mileage in Fleet.